From a woman winning $1 million and not telling her husband about it, to people that won big and blew it all on cars and drugs, we take a look at 15 stupid lottery winners. Number 15. Denise Rossi. When Denise Rossi won the California Lotto to the tune of $1.3 million, she did not wish to share it with her then-husband, Thomas. She left her husband without a word of her winning, and despite him thinking that something was fishy, Thomas agreed for a divorce. As fate would have it, Thomas came about the truth and filed a lawsuit against ex-wife Denise. Now, since we all know that greed never pays, it's no surprise that Thomas won the case, and without even purchasing a lotto ticket, the lucky guy got every single cent of his ex-wife's winnings. Number 14. Michael Carroll. When Michael Carroll won the 2002 jackpot in England, he quickly came to be known as the Lotto Lout. He went on a crazy binge of purchasing houses and cars, as expected of most lotto winners. But he took his overindulgence a tad bit too far when he used the backyards of those very same houses as open areas to hold demolition derbies that featured the cars he had bought. We already know that he would end up in jail and end up penniless soon enough. That's exactly what happened. Enough said. Number 13. Etta Mae Urquhart. California's Etta Mae Urquhart, after playing the lottery for over 18 years, actually won the jackpot. She was hit by a fit of nerves, as she couldn't stop shaking when she went to claim her prize. She asked her son, Ronnie, to sign the ticket and claim the jackpot on her behalf. Greed, however, can overpower even the closest of relations. And to Etta's disbelief, Ronnie claimed the jackpot as his own and went on a spending spree with the money he had claimed. Number 12. Timothy Elliott. Timothy Elliott had always wanted to win the lottery at any cost, and he was caught in an armed robbery once, which he only undertook in order to get money to buy lottery tickets. During his trial for the same, he was diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder, and hence the court put him on probation with mandatory mental counseling instead of sending him to jail. The terms of his probation were the usual no drugs, no gambling, and no getting into any trouble. When he finally lucked out in 2011 and won his $1 million, he was arraigned for breaking the terms of his probation. Thankfully, the court asked him to make a moderate restitution and let him keep the rest of his winnings. Number 11. Ian Galtris. We have heard about all the stories out there, where lottery winners have misplaced their winning tickets only to have to go on a massive treasure hunt to retrieve them. Most of them claim to have rifled through their trash, retraced their steps, and even went so far to turn their houses upside down in search for them. Ian Galtris, an engineer from Merseyside, faced the very same emotions when he realized that he had lost his winning £1 million lottery ticket. How did he know for sure? Well, because he had purchased another ticket for his girlfriend, and it was just one digit away from his, which of course turned out to be the winning one when he had lost it. Number 10. Americo Lopes. Greed is always the precursor for a case of breach of ethics, and that's what happened with Americo Lopes. Construction company worker Americo was delighted when he won the lottery in 2010. He immediately quit his job on the pretext that he required foot surgery. While none of this appeared suspicious for a person who had just won millions, it was only months later, when his co-workers filed a lawsuit against him, that things became clearer. It seems that all the workers in the company usually pooled their money together in order to buy lottery tickets, and it was on one such cash pool that yielded the winning ticket. Number 9. Vivian Nicholson. Of course, everyone that wins a lottery jackpot wants to spend and spend and spend. And when Britain's Vivian Nicholson won the lottery in 1961, her very, very public exclamations that she was going to spend it all seemed very apt. But, of course, no one thought that the lady would literally go ahead with her plans to such an extent that would run through her millions in just a matter of years. Rather than keeping aside some of the cash for rainy days or investing at least part of it on her future, Vivian blew it all on haute couture. Vivian was soon jobless, alienated from her friends, and a widow. Number 8. William Bud Post. William Bud Post was unfortunately the victim of the common phenomenon that lottery winners have to go through. Family members coming out of the woodwork assuming that they are entitled to a chunk of the cash for no reason other than that they're related. When Post won $16.2 million in the lottery, his girlfriend sued him for some of his winnings, actually winning her case. His brother attempted to hire a hitman to kill him so that he could get the money for himself. It was unsuccessful, but still crazy. His other siblings persuaded him to make bad investments that left him $1 million in debt and living off Social Security checks at the time of his death. Number 7. Jeffrey Dampier. Jeffrey Dampier had good intentions with his money. He really did. Once he won about $20 million from the Illinois lottery, he actually invested it in a gourmet popcorn store called Cassie's Gourmet Popcorn. His sister-in-law, along with her boyfriend, who undoubtedly had dollar signs in his eyes, shot Dampier in the back of the head with a shotgun 7 years after he won, and then left him in the back of a van, intending to take his money. They were obviously caught, however, and convicted of murder, and now they're both in jail for life. Number 6. Alex Asok. Alex Asok won about $500,000 in the lottery to benefit his nonprofit organization, a group that aided victims of sexual abuse. But Alex Asok was a sexual offender himself. He molested 2 girls under the age of 13, one in 1993 and one in 2000, and no one actually knew this until he won the jackpot and the media dug up the info. Not too long later, Asok was attacked while walking down the street and hit repeatedly in the head with a pipe that left him severely injured. Number 5. Evelyn Adams. Winning the lottery once is one thing. The odds are astronomical at best. Normally, if it does happen to a person, it never happens again. For Evelyn Adams of New Jersey, however, it did happen twice, in 1985 and 1986. She won about $5.4 million in total, and instead of thinking that maybe it was a sign that she should put it away or invest it in something, Adams thought it'd be a great idea to spend it all gambling in nearby Atlantic City. A little over 20 years later, she found herself broke and living in a less than lavish trailer park. Number 4. Tonda Lynn. Former Waffle House waitress Tonda Lynn thought she could easily get away with keeping her millions from being shared with 2 of her waitress colleagues, when the 3 of them had verbally agreed to share the winnings if any of them ever won from tickets that they got as gifts from the joint's patrons. Since verbal agreements related to gambling do not hold up in court, she did win the case that her colleagues filed against her. Number 3. Callie Rogers. When Callie Rogers was 16, she was just another normal teen living in the UK. Then, she won the lottery, about $1.9 million. If you're currently thinking that 16 is far too young to be dealing with that much money at once, you're completely right. Because shortly after receiving her cash prize, Callie went on a spending spree and threw her hardly hard-earned cash at everything from clothes to vacations to parties to breast enhancements. Oh, and cocaine. Lots and lots of cocaine, which is a pretty expensive drug, so you can kind of see why she's on this list. Number 2. Janet Lee. When the 52-year-old wig shop owner from St. Louis, Janet Lee, won $18 million in 1993, she initially spent it on all the usual stuff. Later, though, she went on a philanthropic binge that went unchecked. Still, she had lost everything and had to file for bankruptcy. The South Korean immigrant took her donations to educational programs, community services, and political organizations a tad bit too far. Number 1. Amanda Clayton. Amanda Clayton was arrested for welfare fraud when it came to everyone's notice that she'd still been collecting her welfare checks, even when she had $1 million in her bank account. You either have to be too greedy to give up on welfare coupons even though you're rich now, or too stupid to notice the welfare coupons you still continue to get. She got 5 years in jail, but that didn't kill her though. A drug overdose did. What would you do if you won the lottery? Let us know in the comments down below.